Call to order this meeting of the Piqua City School Board of Education for April 22nd, 2021. So, Mr. Hiddle, if you would, please.
Mr. Frazier.
Here.
Mr. Height.
Here.
Mrs. McMacken.
Here.
Mr. Bostic.
Here. Okay, if you would please stand and face the flag and Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, we'll begin with asking for a motion to approve the minutes of the March 25th, 21 meeting.
Second.
Okay. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, measure passes. Now, we need an approval for this month's agenda. I have a motion?
So moved.
Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign, measure passes. Mr. Height, Upper Valley Career Center.
Short report. We haven't met yet.
Yeah. See, I was waiting, Andy, I want to make sure. Okay, I have nothing hearing on the public. Okay, thank you, Mr. Lyons. Okay, Mr. Hiddle, we're to you, Treasurer's Agenda.
Good evening. Again, we are fiscally sound this year and on track to end the year in the black, even amidst the pandemic. Are there any questions on the monthly financial reports? The second thing that I have on there tonight is the recommendation to continue our agreement with Health Special Risk Incorporated, which is underwritten by Mutual of Omaha Insurance Company, to continue offering our families student insurance, accident insurance, while they're out and playing on our properties and playing sports and those kind of things. This helps to protect them against injuries, expenses incurred by injuries that happen. And the third thing on there is we moved to a self-funded plan, and one of those compliance documents that we need to have in place by the end of 2021 is to do this RAP document that was attached. It's been reviewed by John Podersky and other legal counsel. He actually brought in a specialist to make sure that it was correct, because it was a little bit outside of his normal realm as a school attorney. And so it's been reviewed and it's compliant, and we're good to go on that one. So it's just something we have to have in place now that we're self-funded. Are there any questions?
No.
All right, that's all I have.
Okay. Well, need a motion?
Second.
Okay. Now, Mr. Hiddle, you roll call this, correct?
I can.
Okay, if you would, please.
Mr. Height.
Aye.
Mr. Bostic.
Aye.
Mrs. McMacken.
Aye.
Mr. Frazier.
Aye.
Okay. Measure passes. Okay, Mr. Thompson.
Thank you. We'd just like to note that Sean Ford is not here this evening. His mother passed away, and our thoughts are certainly with him and his family at this time as they're working through that. So, we do our building update each month during my report, and this month we have Mr. Heath Butler here from Piqua Central Intermediate, and he will be doing our feature for the school this month. So, Mr. Butler, I turn it over to you, and you're welcome to take off your mask up at the
Thank you,
microphone
sir.
if you'd like.
Thanks.
Good evening. Very fortunate to stand up here in April and say that we've been in session from day one. Coming into this year, we knew we had to kind of have a mantra, and I passed out to you a little card, kind of just how we wanted to find education in our minds and kind of plan for our classrooms and our school building. And we came up with this, our goals for the year. We want to keep our students safe. We want to lower their anxiety about a new normal, students coming in with masks, social distancing and all that. We wanted to make them laugh. We wanted to make sure they felt cared about, and we wanted to teach them something, and in that order. So I have a short video prepared just to kind of see the progress and see the product here, being in school from September to April. So if we could play the video really quick.
Other kids from other schools. And you're changing to a bigger school. You have 4 classes, not just 1 or 2. You have more teachers, more work, and more people, which, yes, may seem overwhelming. Trust me, I know from experience. But given the fact that you'll make many new friends, have supportive staff, and more, it makes it easier.
Can we backtrack?
Thank you, sir.
Respect. Respect, also called esteem, is a positive feeling or action shown towards someone or something that is considered important. Responsibility is the act of having a job or a duty. Other kids from other schools. And you're changing to a bigger school. You have 4 classes, not just 1 or 2. You have more teachers, more work, and more people, which, yes, may seem overwhelming. Other kids from other schools. And you're changing to a bigger school. You have 4 classes, not just 1 or 2. You have more teachers, more work, and more people, which, yes, may seem overwhelming. Trust me, I know from experience. But given the fact that you'll make many new friends, have supportive staff, and more, it makes it easier. Respect. Respect, also called esteem, is a positive feeling or action shown towards someone or something that is considered important. Responsibility is the act of having a job or a duty. And kindness is the quality of being friendly, generous, and considerate. Let yourself become open and befriend people who are going to be with you for 9 months or even the whole 3 years that you are here. Friends are very important. They help lift you up when you're sad and you will make memories with them. Now let's get into the staff here. The staff here at PCIS are honestly so supportive and absolutely wonderful role models.
I'm gonna go look for more items.
Will create lasting memories. This school has the love, friendship, and memories of many kids. This school will embrace you in a big, warm hug of welcome. The staff and students here and the feeling of acceptance is remarkable.
I said have an incredible day with an incredible background, and I got a friend back.
So what we found is that, you know, we put, as always, students first and a focus on their safety and building relationships. And what we found now in April is how energized we are is to start planning already for next year, knowing that we do have some gaps to fill with some of our remote learners who will be coming back, and also, you know, to get back on track. So it's kind of energized us, carried us through this time, and we're so excited for what the future holds for Piqua Central. Is there any questions I could help answer? All righty. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Butler.
Thank you, Mr. Beller.
Next on the agenda is another introduction I'm really excited about. We had a board work session back in November, as you remember, and we kind of brainstormed some different topics, and out of that came the idea of a student board representative. It'd be a non-voting member, but would certainly represent that most important voice in our district, that being the students. More than just representing that voice, we had decided that that student would come up with some kind of an idea or a concept, and they would spend the year working on that and kind of massaging it a little bit and bring an actual item to the board to get a vote on. So they would really get to do some leadership in the district and have a good resolution before their term is up. So Nolan Campbell is going to be a senior next year at the Piqua High School, and he was selected for that and will begin his term in June. The topic that he chose is mental health issues amongst students, and he has a really good idea. So Nolan, if you wouldn't mind coming up to the microphone and introducing yourself and telling us a little bit about you and your idea. You're welcome to, if you'd like, to move your mask so you can be heard better if you want. And I'll let them ask you questions at will, okay? Welcome.
Thank you. I'm Nolan Campbell. I'll be a senior at Piqua this fall. I run track and cross country whenever I'm not busy with something else. My freshman year was my first year at Piqua. I moved from a small town in Indiana who had nothing compared to what Piqua has. And the opportunities have been just amazing here. And it really inspired me to apply for the position of the student representative whenever it became available just about a month ago. So I was really interested in the part of the student initiative on the application. And I knew that mental health was definitely something that a lot of high schoolers struggle with just because of the stress that not only they put on themselves, but their parents and their teachers and their coaches. And after just a few events that happened the year, I decided that was what my initiative was going to be. I believe that all freshmen should have to take some sort of class or preventative measures to understand the warning signs of mental health illnesses and know that there's other safe outlets besides your school counselor who you may not be comfortable talking with, such as your parents, your teachers, your coaches, or even your friends at school.
Any questions from the board members?
How do you see this shaping up?
I definitely see, instead of having your required, your science, your math, your health, freshman year, there should be some sort of class, like a 9-week class that every student should have to sit through and pass the class to get credit and understand what they need to know.
Anything else? So Nolan, it fits perfectly with what we're doing. Our district is already really working hard on some mental health issues and some social emotional learning skills for our district, and I've already kind of introduced your idea to some key players. So when we get you started in here, I'm going to introduce you to those people personally so that you can start sharing some ideas, and we'll kind of morph this and massage it, like I said, over the year here, and by the end of your term, we'll actually put together a resolution to bring to the board, and we'll have them vote on it, okay?
Thank you. I'm really excited.
Well,
Yeah.
welcome.
Thanks,
Nolan,
Nolan.
before you go, Rob, what do you think of the idea? Do you think that's something that could be done possibly?
I think so. I think we got to figure out where it can be done in the schedule or whatever. But Nolan's right. We have such a need for it, especially after this year, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, we really have seen a spike in referrals. Kids having some, a lot of issues that we need to be able to provide them support. So, as Nolan suggested, it's needed. So we just need to figure out how to make it happen.
Do you have any other ideas, Nolan, that you have behind that one that you've thought of?
I'm sure I have plenty of ideas, but
Okay.
nothing off the top of my head.
All right.
Thank you.
We're happy to have
Yeah,
you.
thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nolan.
Nice to meet you.
Nolan, you're welcome to stay if you'd like, or you're welcome to leave. This is the only time you get to leave early since the
Yeah.
semester starts, so it's up to you, okay? All right, very good. Next, I'm going to have Mr. Messick come up, and he's going to just give us an update on where we are with our graduation plans and our prom plans, and we've been working really hard on that and meeting with students, so I'll let him share some of that, and you're welcome to ask any questions that you would like as well, okay?
So we actually met with the seniors today, and we put some information out online, so you can check the Piqua High School's webpage to start seeing some of those announcements. I wanted to get that out there. We have worked with the health department, and we've come up with our graduation plan this year. As you guys remember from last year, we were outside. Had to postpone it for a month. But this year we plan on being on time, June 28th. June 28th. Whoa. Let's try that again. May 28th. We're going to be at the stadium. Even if, so how we have it set up, we plan on, or we're going to try to still do it on just one side of the stadium like we do traditionally. If we get to a point where we get too many people, and I'll explain that process, then we'll end up having to go to two sides like we did last year. The kids are, we told the kids today they can have, there's no limit on their tickets, but if we do reach a certain mark, then we have to open it up to both sides. So if we stay under a certain number, I don't want to throw out that number right now because it's still kind of a little bit flexible. So if we get over that number, then we'll go to both sides. Does that make sense? We also, we cannot have it inside, so we have several rain dates. So all of you guys that are going to be participating in graduation, that whole weekend, you just need to make sure that you have every 8 o'clock time slot available. If it rains on Friday and we have to call it, we're going to go try to do Saturday. If it doesn't work out on Saturday, we're going to go Sunday. So put that in your calendars. We need
What are
you
those
all.
dates?
What's that?
What are those dates?
Memorial Weekend, so it's that 28th, 29th,
Okay.
and the 30th.
We always pick a day when it doesn't rain, so we should be good for Friday.
Yeah, it's just, I don't want to make any comments about it because I don't want to jinx myself, but we'll be good. Don't worry about it. So that's kind of our graduation plan. Like I said, we just put it out there. We are bringing back this year, which is very exciting, is the seniors are able to invite a teacher or another school personnel person that can meet them at the podium. Or after they get their diploma, they can go down and shake their hand or give them a hug or whatever. That meaningful teacher that's done something, inspired them, or that special relationship. And I was telling the kids this today, well, young adults, not kids, but I was telling them today is that it means something to you, but you would not imagine what it means to a teacher or a custodian or a cook or whoever it is, or a secretary, to be invited to those things. So think about it and have them come there. So we're real excited about that. Graduation, I know we've had some struggles. Mr. Thompson asked me to start this conversation with you guys. We started the year roughly with 200, I think it was like 260 some seniors. We know at this point right now that because of COVID and the other situations, we've lost 14 of them. We can't find them, and that's unfortunate. But like I said, and I'll go through some of the things that we've attempted to do. Roughly right before Christmas, we identified 40 seniors at that point that were high risk. to not graduate just because they weren't completing the time and the credits that were needed because they went online or for whatever other reasons. Right now, we feel very comfortable that we're down to about 13 of that 40 we've gotten back on, or I'm sorry, do the math, 27 of that 40 we've gotten back on track. We got a couple are going to be pushing it to the wire. If we can get them to do what we do, do their work, come into the building, which is key. If we can get them in the building, we know we can get them through it. So we've been working really hard on that, and we still have about 13 left that are what we consider high risk, but still could be salvageable if we can get them in there. If those high-risk seniors, we're doing something a little bit different with our summer school because really the reporting date is June 30th. And so if we can get them in, we're going to be running basically a senior summer boot camp to try to get a hold of these kids, get them in there. Very difficult to get a hold of some of them, but we are trying. We have staff going out to their houses and knocking on doors. We actually are picking them up in vans and bringing them to school. We are trying to do everything that we can, but it's amazing we've never seen this much separation, and it's been pretty challenging. So we're not giving up on them. We're continuing to go after them. We still have work to do, and they still have work to do. Don't get me wrong, but we're gonna fight as long as we can to get these guys in there. I think we started with our online. We were making contact with the parents every 2 weeks, reaching out to them every 2 weeks, and giving them updates and letting them know. So there's no secrets out there. So hopefully we can get those guys through. Now, some good news. All right, so that was good, bad. Now we're going to get back to good. We got prom coming up, guys. I did not think that we'd be having this conversation 6 weeks ago, but we do. We have prom. We've changed the venue. We used to go over and do it at the Learning Center. Now it's back at Piqua High School, which was the way it used to be way back in the day. We had to do that because of space. We get more space, which allows us to be able to have the prom. We're going to have an outside tent also in our new area, our seating area that we have out there. It's going to be covered up so people can go out there for mass breaks and things like that. We found out today that we're going to open it up. We weren't allowed to have guests. Now we're going to have some guests who are allowed to come in if they fill out the guest form. It's going to be a good event. We have some other things going on to attract just to make sure we provide stuff for other kids. There's going to be some Monte Carlo stuff. There's going to be also some games that kids can play on top of the DJ, the dancing, and everything else. And we're actually even having heavy hors d'oeuvres. Yeah, didn't know. That's pretty good stuff there, yeah. And but the whole, and it's pretty, the reason why we're doing it is because it keeps people moving around, going back in place so that they're not, congested the whole time. It's a really well thought out plan by Casey Pace, or Mrs. Pace. She did an amazing job with it. So please come on out, and May 1st, want to come out and watch the kids come in, take your pictures, and do all that. It should be a really nice event. Okay. Questions for me, Mr. Thompson? Did I cover everything you need me to cover?
I think so. I would just add we're so lucky to have our stadium size because a lot of schools are still limiting just because of their venues, not to their fault. But we really think with the class size we have, we're going to be fine. And if we have to open up both sides, we'll do that. We're okay with that. We still have the ability to make sure parents on either side will have a staging area for their student to come up to get the diploma and get photos like we did last year. So we're very fortunate to have the facilities that we do. He mentioned the teachers coming up. We announced that this morning. There's already 20 students that have nominated staff, and I'm going through reading the comments, and it's emotional what they're writing about the coaches and the teachers and the impact. And some of them are saying, like, you've been like a father to me, and I couldn't have done this without you, and just just amazing messages to people that have done a tremendous job. And to follow up with what he's saying about a tremendous job is there's a team of people calling these seniors and like he said, picking them up and visiting them and doing everything in their power, and they're documenting it, and we're talking weekly on the roadblocks we're facing and just brainstorming everything we can. And he's right, there are a lot of people out there that are really trying to make that last connection with these kids to get them through here. It's been tough for the kids this year with everything happening, and they're struggling, and some are working, and some are doing different things, and we know the importance of that diploma, so we're going to try to prevail through that. So great work on your team, truly.
Will we go through with the graduation? Will there be tickets, or let's just go? Okay.
Yeah, there'll be tickets. The kids have to order the tickets.
Okay.
They'll pick them up. People will have to have a ticket to enter, so that we don't. It's not that we don't want people from the community attending, but we just don't want people walking in, just because we want to keep that number, so we know how to set up the stadium.
What we did last year was, once we gave tickets out, we figured out how many went out, and then we divided the class right down the middle based on tickets. The class officer will flip a coin. Heads is the beginning of the alphabet, tails is the end. Whoever gets it, whoever wins it will be on the home side. The other person will be on the other side. I don't think there's a disadvantage because, like I said, we get good views from their side. So the best part of it is we should not have to limit any kid, and that's why we can't move it into the gym if it rains that night, because we would have to tell people they couldn't come then, and we just don't want to do that. So if we could move it the next night, we really explain that to the kids, we would opt for that, so we could keep every guest possible to come and celebrate this moment.
Any other questions?
Will they have the 3 options again this year?
2 options. They can have it mailed to them.
Okay.
They have to notify Mr. Messick by the 21st of May, I believe, in writing, have to have their fees paid and all the requirements met, or they can come to the ceremony. So the other option we gave last year was they could come and get a photo and not participate in the ceremony, but we didn't feel like we had to do that this year. We've talked about that day opening the stadium. If kids wanted to come out and get photos still, they could do that. We'll be set up, and they're welcome to come and do that if they would like. So that seemed to be well received, I think.
Good?
Okay.
I do want to. Nolan is a lot more than just a track and cross country runner, by the way.
Yeah.
He's an excellent student, a great role model, and he's also a business owner. So he's a pretty well put together kid. He's got everything going on for him. So I'm glad, Nolan, you're my new boss. All right. So,
Hey, what's the business he owns? Yeah. Oh, okay.
Any orders you're working on recently? So your other idea for our staff gift, we
Yeah.
put it out to bid, and Nolan's working on that for us. So yeah. So
Cool.
when you get the final product, you'll know he was our man behind the scenes, so to speak. So yeah.
Even better.
Yeah. Well, thank you to both of you for
Thanks, Rob.
being here. The only other thing I would mention is the first week of May is Staff Appreciation Week, and we are really gearing up for that. We made announcements this week on the Building Outstanding Educators of the Year. Those are nominated and voted on by the teachers at the building level, as well as our support staff members of the year, which would include, everything from bus drivers to cooks to, aides, and just all those people that really help students throughout the day. So each building has one of those reps, and then those people now are filling out an application, and that goes to a committee of teachers that will go through and read everything that's happened from the beginning all the way up to their application, and they'll pick one district representative that will be announced May 3rd, the beginning of our staff week. They will also pick a support staff member. Our staff right now is also nominating in the following categories. They're nominating an outstanding substitute teacher of the year. They're nominating what we call friends of the school, which are people from the community that have done something really significant for the schools. And new this year, which I'm really, again, when you read the comments, you'll be emotional. But we did a coach advisor of the year. And we've just realized how important those people really are in our students' lives. And we sent it out to students and parents and staff. It's the only category we really do that in. But last I saw, I think we had 170 people that have nominated. And the things they're saying about these people are amazing. So it'll be really hard for the committee to pick that first person that will be selected for that. What I do with all of those then is I take all the comments and we write a nice letter to the people because they don't know they're being nominated. And we put all the comments that people say about them and we mail that to them and say, you've been nominated. This person's been selected, but you also have been nominated and here's what everybody's saying about you. So they get that special appreciation as well. So it's a great week. A lot of fun things happen. You guys are doing something special for the staff, and we do as well. And the principals are arranging some wonderful things, and partnerships are going to buy food or ice cream for the staff and things like that. So they've always earned it in my mind, but this year, I can't say enough. And I go to a lot of events and committees and boards throughout the city, and we continue to be praised for the fact that we've never closed once for COVID, ever. That's not much that anybody can say. So our staff have prevailed through that. They've done a fantastic job. They've thanked us for staying open. They've never complained. I've never have received a complaint from anybody. I mean that. It's been really positive. They want kids to be there. They want that impact. So I'm extremely proud of how we've handled it, how the staff has just really come through on this. So it'll be a really fun week for us. So that's my report, unless you have any questions. All right, so my agenda would be to recommend the board approval of the attached list of donations and grants. We have a student, Ben Schmeezing from the class of 23, who donated some money. Seaver & Sons to the Piqua, they're sponsoring, I believe, the baby photo page. And then Kiwanis Club for the Piqua and the Piqua Junior High School Builders Club donated some money, as well as Ben and Crystal Ayers for the Run Club for their T-shirts that they get every year. I believe those are the parents of the teacher that does that. So we appreciate all those donations, and that's it for my agenda.
Okay. All right. Mr. Hiddle, do we need a roll call or anything? Just our motion?
Sure.
Okay. We need a motion to vote on the superintendent's agenda.
Second?
Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, measure passes. Okay, Mr. Lyons, we have personnel agenda.
Thank you. Just want to, it's short, so that's great news. It'll pick up because we'll start the hiring process next month. But want to point out number 7 there on the list, the retirement resignation of Joyce Mobrey from her position as an IS over at Piqua Junior High School, and thank her for her time and commitment to our kids. And of course, she will be recognized at a future event as well. You can see we've got our teacher contracts and administrative contracts on there for this meeting. And one thing I want to highlight is a concerted effort by the district to reach out and attract new bus drivers or candidates to become bus drivers. It's a challenge for every district, not just us. So we're competing with a lot of things. So we've been working with the Treasurer's Department and Beth and us to try to figure out what that looks like. So you'll be seeing some things coming out shortly in new ways to kind of attract those folks to get on board, because although we're status quo right now, it's really tight, and we'll need some route drivers here in the near future. So we want to get that message out that we're looking for bus drivers and ultimately for some full-time route positions, full route positions. So outside of that, again, it's a short agenda. Recommend board approval for those items.
Okay.
Any questions?
Nope.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we have a motion for those?
So moved.
Second, okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, measure carries. Okay, old business, I don't have anything on that. New business. The only thing I wanted to say, I didn't know if all of you have been following, and people out there, but the House passed a bill that is moving to the Senate committees, I believe, isn't it? And it's included the House Bill 1 funding plan. So we'll see what happens in the Senate, but, you know, the House passed it. Jeremy, what was it, 79 to 17 or something?
72, 17 or
17,
something.
and then the Senate has indicated they want to try to cut it down as much as they can. Please, anybody, you can write your representatives, your state reps, and your state senators. And I don't think it can happen enough. So, you know, we're pulling to do this. It would allow districts to plan further ahead, have programs. A lot of good can come from it. So please, and if you have any questions, call any of us, and Jeremy, Dwayne, or, you know, any of us will try to fill you in on what we know or get you to where you will know. But, you know, the future of the students is paramount and very important. So please, if you are so inclined, please write them and periodically do it. So we need support for that. Okay, hearing of the public, non-agenda. I don't have anything, Mr. Lyons, okay. Well, our next meeting is May 27th.
Didn't we move that to the 20th?
Yes, we did. Yes, thank you, Mr. Height. That is the correction we need there. That is the 20th. Yeah, let me double check here. Because I know we did move that. All right, let's see. Yes, May 20th is the next school board meeting, and it will be at 6 o'clock here at the Piqua Board of Education. Okay. Any comments, questions, anything, anybody? All right, thank you, Mr. Height. With that, need a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
I second. So all in favor of adjournment, signify by saying aye. Aye. We are adjourned.